property is located at 346 Middle Road South, First Land District, part of land lot 133 in the zone agricultural district. The Planning Commission recommended approval on the condition that the area be rezoned is increased from 3 acres to 4 acres to meet the minimum size requirements for future subdivision of 2-acre lots in a R3 zone district. In addition to that, we had a additional report from staff, our staff planner Paul Forgy, that indicated that if the commission may want to consider granting the residential zoning, but as an R1 and not an R3, this could be a possibility. As R1, the existing use can continue but not be rebuilt or expanded. This would create a higher value of land and encourage eventual conversion to the site-built construction. And I'd like to just take a minute if Paul, you want to add anything to that.
Good evening, Commissioners. My point with recommending R1 rezoning as opposed to R3 is exactly as Bob said. It would create a higher value of the land. It would allow the applicant to do what he wants by subdividing and selling his land, but the county would get a higher value, and the eventual conversion would be to a site-built house rather than a manufactured home. And this area on the future development map for the county is shown as being suburban development. So it's an area that the county, when the comp plan was developed, felt that should eventually convert to residential. And I believe that the best use of the land would be R1 as opposed to manufactured homes. That's why I made that recommendation.
Thank you, Paul.
Is he going to have 1 4-acre lot there or 2
This
2-acre lots?
2-acre lots. And there's existing mobile homes on these lots.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Public meeting is now open in reference to Mr. Alcon's variance. Anybody have any comments? In regards to Mr. Alcon's variance, please come forward. Sign in, please.
I want to ask one question. What's the difference between the R1 and the R3?
R3 is
For
mobile homes.
Okay.
R1 is for stick-built houses.
Okay.
I think Mr. Fogey is right on his recommendation. Would you be willing to go for the R1 zoning?
Well, I didn't really want tear down the mobile home I have there. The reason I wanted this is because my son and daughter,
You wouldn't have to tear it down, sir.
if it's ever moved, you'll have to build a house back. You couldn't put a mobile home there.
That's what I'm saying. If you move it, excuse me, Mr. Rover, go ahead.
Well, that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Once the mobile home is moved, you couldn't replace it with a mobile home if you change the R1. Okay.
Which would be a beneficial Lee County to have stick-built homes instead of a mobile home on that property.
Yes, I understand. Yes, sir, I guess I'll go along with that.
Okay, Mr. Alcron. Anything else, sir?
No, sir, I just want to let you know I'm the man there, so
Well,
if you have any questions, I'm right here.
We appreciate you coming to the forum.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Public meeting is closed.
Chairman and Commissioners of the Departmental Matters, the first item is Planning Department. I'd like to call Ms. Alexander to present his report.
We received bids today on the local truck route, which is Robert P. Lane, Lovers Lane, and State Route 32. As you recall, at the previous meeting, we did get a contract from the Department of Transportation for $800,000. And we do have budgeted in our sales tax $900,000. These bids were looked at by Matthew Inman, PE, from EMC Engineering, with their recommendation to go with the low bid, which was Oxford Construction, for $1,776,674.05. We feel that this is a qualified, good bid, and we recommend going with the low bid in this case. Is there any questions?
Bob, you may want to speak to available funding.
The funding at this time is, the contract is for $800,000, and we have $900,000 in the splosh fund. So we are $77,000 short. That's pretty close.
Well, Bob, I think the 76,000 can be taken out of squash also.
I think so. I think we can work that out. Our recommendation is to go forward with this project with Oxford.
Any other comments from the board?
I have one question. I read in the paper, did we ever vote to go forward with the redoing the road out in front of the courthouse? I know we discussed it, but I didn't.
I think that, I'll have to check the minutes, but I did present to you that the county, the Department of Transportation, the city and the county are going to handle this as a maintenance project, which, you know, we're talking about the county maybe doing the striping on it, which would be less than $5,000. The DOT, you know, doing the signal work, which would include putting in new loops on the road, and the city actually cutting back those islands and putting asphalt and base and paving, so that we do this as a maintenance contract, so that it doesn't get quite so involved with the bureaucracy on this particular project. And so we felt like this was the cheapest and easiest way to go, so we sent this on up to the Department of Transportation, and we're waiting to hear back from them. But at the local level, at the Tipton level, they're all for doing the project this way, but we still have to get the concept approved in Atlanta before we move forward with it. So we haven't done that yet.
It would actually just cost us about $6,000.
Yeah, just the striping part of it.
I didn't know where I came up with 300,000.
Well, that's what it was, to do the whole thing, where we were going to put in the green space, and we were going to try to do it according to what the existing required standards are, which is an expensive way to go until we can really decide. We do have a parking study that's currently going on to really decide that this is what we want to do up front. And so we're actually putting in our next splosh funding, or recommending funding, for doing the beautification of the courthouse in front and this type of thing. We would have to spend a lot of money, but what we're trying to do now is just do something simple and widen the street out a little bit, so that we can, and put a dual left turn lane out there so we can make the traffic work.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.